Hi everybody, this is Patricia from Minto, New Brunswick, Canada, and welcome to the channel today. This is Tuesday, and again another very hot, humid day, 30 degrees Celsius with a humidity from 36 to 39 Celsius. I know that 40 is about 102 Fahrenheit, so it's been a very warm day. Yet I did a wash. My husband cut down some branches over the garden and put up a jingler, and he'll put up a bird feeder possibly in the next few days. He built me one, so we're going to test that one out. Yeah, I've been inside most of the day, other than out here hanging clothes and helping him for a few minutes. So this is my first time outside just to have a seat. We had a visit today from her daughter, her father's birthday she missed, so she works she works at home for a company, and she doesn't get off till later in the evening, and so she isn't just be able to get in her car and come visit when she wants. She lives about 45 miles away, and so anyway, that was good of her to come out today. She brought her dad out a card and a treat, and then made a dessert while she was here to leave, and spent about an hour and a half. So that was nice. She forgot to bring her scissors and her cutting scissors. I wanted her to cut my hair today, but she'll have to come and do that another time, and or I'll have to go visit her. She has this week off and next week off. And anyway, so here I am outside and just going to spend some time with you while he's gone. He's gone to mow some lawns. Otherwise, he'd have to go tomorrow, and we're supposed to have another hot, humid day and possibly rain. So he wants to get ahead of the rain, and that's okay. So I was going to go in with him and stop at my brother's and spend a couple of hours, but he had to come back home before he went somewhere, and so I decided just to stay home, because I know my brother loves to sit outside, and I would sit outside with them. Anyway, it's been a good day, and with my daughter having company. Anyway, so hubby took me to Tim Hortons and got me a nice cap, and I don't get many of those in a summer because they're so costly. And my aunt used to always tell me, my mom's sister, that there's about 1,000 calories in that, and really, I don't need an extra 1,000 calories. So a few times throughout the summer won't hurt me. And she brought a beautiful tomato from her tomato plant, huge, like an apple, great big thing. Anyway, that was, we'll be eating that probably on making some toasted tomato sandwiches. Something I was going to mention now, if I can remember, but you know how you get older and you forget things. My husband thought he left his phone at Tim Hortons because I took it because I knew he'd forget to take it, and then it was on the table, and then we get in the door here, and he thought he didn't have it. He wanted to know if it was in the glove compartment and all those kinds of things, but then he noticed it was on the dash. Anyway, we're getting older and getting forgetful. I think I'm more forgetful than he is, and I'm 7.5 years younger, so what do you think? Glory. But anyway, it's nice. I just hope with the rain that we're going to get that it's not going to destroy my garden with a lot of rain. I know last year I lost some of my potatoes because they rotted from the rain that we had. We seemed to have a little bit more rain then too, but we really haven't had a lot of rain. We've had some downpours, and but we need the rain too, just not a whole bunch at once. Nice soft rain, don't you just love that? Just being able to get that, and you know it's going into the grounds and into the ground and into the groundwater. And we have our own well. Now, we had a well years ago when we lived in Kingsley for 31 years. We had water that ran from where the well was dug. And then when we built our place, we had to dig down and put pipes and let the water go through where the water was coming, and put it right underneath the house. And my husband did that, did a great job. And then we just kept piping it down so many feet behind our house, so that, you know, quite a distance, about maybe 50 feet or so behind our place. And it was clear water. I think the kids might have been down and had a drink, and my husband probably went down and had a drink like that. So he said it was good water, and our water was good there. No taste. But some of the areas don't have very good water. You have the magnesium and the iron. And anyway, right now here in Minto with our water here, having cancer 3 times, when I found out that the water, like, it would smell, and then it was hard. They had when I moved in here a water treatment thing, and it hadn't been working. So I don't know what the problem was with that. So we had them remove it. The gentleman that came out to do that from a company came out and removed it. Probably the light or something was all broken on it. So anyway, that cost us about, quite a bit. I won't say how much, but, quite a few dollars. And then every year, I've been here 2 years, the end of this month. We were here, I think, the last week of July in 2022, in 2022. And the very end of July, we brought our furniture out. Then we went away for 5 days on a little break. So then we came home and did all the other stuff that we had to do. But anyway, going back to the water. So when I mentioned to the technician that came out, I mentioned like they would test your water when he would put everything in, and then he told me it had this level and this level and this level. But where I've had cancer 3 times, he would suggest I not drink from the tap, that he put in a filtering system on it just to have drinking water, which I do have. The only thing with that, it really doesn't get cold because it goes into a catch, I guess, or something, and then the water comes from that. So even if you left that water run, I don't think you would get cold water unless it ran out. I'm really not sure how it works, but anyway, so that's what I drink from. And I need to buy myself an ice maker, and really can't afford one, but I would love to. And but I'm going to look at it and see. I picked some of my basil yesterday. Now I don't know really how to dry it. I don't have an aerator or whatever you call them. And so whether I got to look up on that and see how I should do that. I picked some mint the other day. I got a bag full of mint, and I'm drying that just in a paper bag. You have brown paper bags, you can put them in. That's what I've been doing with my mint last year, and then bottling it after it's dried. So the basil, I'm hoping I'll have to make some spaghetti and macaroni, but I don't know how to dry it out to be able to have that. So, um, yeah. Anyway, just it's learning. It's a learning curve. I watered my garden yesterday. I'm not doing it today. If we're going to get rain the next maybe 2 or 3 days, so I'm not going to do that. I'll leave it alone. And tried to do some weeding a little bit for the amount of garden I've got. I don't think I think it's probably good that the weeds are in there. Maybe, I don't know. I hear something. I know that a gentleman, a friend that we knew a few years ago in the church that I went to, he even grew his tomatoes in on the side of his property where the grass was higher, and he would put his container in there or grow them in there, and those tomatoes came out beautiful. And so they would have the moisture, I suppose, from the plants, and then be shaded a little bit from the heat or the sun, I guess. So that's how Orlo did it. And anyway, thinking of him, we've got to find out if this wonderful gentleman is still with us, and his wife, Ray. I got to continue to remember to do that. Don't you love it? I got a call today, and don't you just love it when you get scam callers? Well, they called me today, and it was a New Brunswick number, but it was a different, it had our zip, or postal, not postal. It had our area code, and then the next three numbers I didn't know. It either was from Moncton or Woodstock, but a lot of times they use somebody else's numbers. And I don't know how they scam into that, but they do. And he told me that I was from Bell, Alliant, and I said yes, I was. And you live at 41 Logue, and yes, I do. And he told me that on my computer, on my internet, he just was telling me that I have been a lot of stuff going on in my computer. Well, I don't know how they'd know that. And that I should be aware, and he was going to start talking to me about what I can do, and I knew where that was going. So I quickly told this person that I would call Bell Alliant myself if I was having problems. But I know myself, I have a virus checkers, and they're mostly checked every day. And yes, I know they still can get on. You can get hacked and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so I mentioned it to them, Bell Alliant, today when I called, gave them the phone number. So I really should call the scam line and let them know this number that called me. So anyway, there's scammers everywhere. There's scammers everywhere. I've had people send me messages and say, "Hi, Mom. I can't." How did it go? My phone broke, and I don't know how she was trying to get a hold of me. It came from her number. Her phone, it was supposed to be her number. My phone broke, and my phone broke. So I'm not able to get a hold of you, and I need some money. Yeah, right. So I'm not that stupid. So I would contact my daughter and say, "Did you just send me a message telling me that your phone broke and you needed, well, X dollars?" And she said no. Well, I've received that a couple of times. I've had that scam come through as a message for me. And then you always get these guys out there who take on somebody else's pictures, and they're building you up, and anyway, just wanting you to add them. Well, I block them and delete them. And I hope you're doing the same thing, because there's so many people out there that just want to harm or hurt people, financially or physically or emotionally. What else has been? We've had 2 children over the weekend. One in a Doketown area, which is it's north from here, and he was 10 years old, 4 foot. He was 4 foot. Little guy was 120 pounds, and he was on his dirt bike, and very hot, very hot. And he went missing for like a day and a half, I believe. They had the RCMP, they had all the different search and rescues from the different areas. They had helicopters, they had drones, they had the forestry division, they had emergency measures. Finally, the next day, possibly around noon or something, this boy was found. Now, I haven't noticed whether the girl, there was a 14-year-old girl just outside of Fredericton, and she was missing. She went missing, and so I pray she's been found. But we have a friend's son who has been missing for quite a bit now, in past months. And I contacted his aunt the other day to see if this young fella, not young, well, my son's 43, and I think this young fella's got to be about 38, 39. But his life went a wrong way, and his parents are devastated. They've tried to help him. They pray for him all the time. They've tried to put him in places where he can get help with what he needs to get help with, and he hadn't stayed, which would break their heart, because they have to be willing to do the work, right, and want to do the work, but that has such a grasp on people's lives, and I know that. Anyway, this man is missing. I believe he's got a child. That's not with him, but he's got a child out there. But I know his mom and dad are devastated, and his sister, and his aunts and uncles, and the church families that knew this young man. So if you would do this, you could pray for, his name is Benji, and again, I don't know whether he's still with us. Pray that he still is, but he needs to be found. He needs to be brought back so that his parents know that he's still here. If he's not still here, they need to know. I don't think I could. I have a hard enough time with the situation in life that I'm in, with not seeing certain people, not because I don't want to, but it's a choice that they've made to stay distant, and over the years I've had to accept it and trust that all things will work together for good. And if that's what is to happen, that this is what is to happen, and when they want to reach out, they do. Few and far between, but I take each one as a blessing, and I thank God for it. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to not know where somebody is. I would have a hard time sleeping, and I have a hard time sleeping now. With my mind just goes round circles, and I have a really hard time sleeping. So I sleep better in the morning. Anyway, yeah, that's been what's been going on here so far. my beans are just starting to come just a little tiny bit. So they're starting. Now that will take a while. And I can't wait. Probably the next week or two I'm going to have beans. I am just interested to see how good they're going to come. I've got a squash that has blossoms on it. I have a cucumber, Burpless cucumber, if it comes, that I haven't seen blossoms yet, but it looks like it might come. And that pumpkin is coming like crazy. Anyway, we put up a little thing today to kind of hold it up when it starts to grow more and more, so that the pumpkins aren't on the ground. And we've got a little bit of hay there, but yeah. I planted a friend here gave me, I think she's got white roses, yeah. And I took 2 shoots of that and I planted it. Now, I covered it over with soil, and I probably shouldn't, but it had roots on it, so I know it's still going to come. Might come next year, and it still may come this year, like might pop through the soil when I put it in the ground. So I'm anxiously going to wait for that if I'm still here. That's how I look at every day, if I'm still here, and accept it as each day, accept it as it comes. And if anybody knows how to, like, I've got some time, a lot of time growing, but it's not real high. Maybe that's all it's supposed to be, like this tall. I don't know whether it grows real tall or not, but how do you look after that? Because again, I don't have an aerator. How can I just take one little pot in, then I've got the other pot full? But I can't do that with the other pot unless I put some soil in it and take it in the house and just cut off it when I want some. Maybe that's an idea. Like I said, I cut down my basil yesterday. Let me just show you here. The basil I cut yesterday right there. And yeah, so got quite a bit off that. And anyway, so I know I'm going to be sitting here. Might have to go inside and watch something on YouTube, which I enjoy. And I'm not one for all these shows. If in the summertime, there's nothing on. Now, we watched the other night, it was called something about sharks. And they were trying to find these big, the 20-footers, the older ones, like 35 years old, and where they, and put something on them so that they can monitor them. But the crazy depths of just the depths of craziness that they go through, they could lose their lives trying to do what they're doing, but they're researching. And I guess if you love what you do, then you're taking those chances, right? I wouldn't want that to be my husband or my wife that's doing that. Anyway, it's what has been going on in your life, guys. I'm just talking, and I don't know if what I'm saying means a whole lot to you. But again, I will say that today is a new day, and being kind to others, even when it's hard to be kind to somebody who may have offended you or hurt you with their words, or we need to stop. God knows all about it. Or you can just tell God. He doesn't care. He wants communication. Talk to him like you're a friend, like I'm talking to you. And we need to give that person over to God, their problem, because a lot of time it is their problem, right? That's something they're dealing with, and maybe something in their past that has caused them to be a certain way in their life. And so they begin to distrust and hurl accusations and belittle people. And do they like themselves? I don't know. But I do know that everybody, even an animal, wants to be loved. And everybody wants to be loved. I want to be loved. I definitely don't want to be rejected. I know what rejection feels like. I know Jesus knows what rejection felt like, because his own people turned their backs on him. Some didn't, but many did. And yet, he knew what was coming. He paid the price. He was the Good Shepherd. He was a Lamb of God that takes away our sin. If we confess our sin, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sin and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. But we have to come to that place in our lives where we want to do that. And our family, our friends, our acquaintances, the people we meet, the ones we walk by on the street that's got their hand out for that extra dollar, an extra quarter, for them to get a bottle. I remember one time that I was going into what was called low food, like it's like a no frills, and a gentleman came to my door as I was going to step out of my car. He wanted to know if I had any money, and I said, no, but I'm going to go and buy groceries. I could buy you something. And when I took him in the store, he didn't want anything that I wanted to buy him. I was going to get him a drink and something to eat that's already made, but he just kept on refusing and just wanting money. So I bought him a banana and I think a drink, and then I just said goodbye. And so he went on his way and went out to ask somebody else. Now on the streets, there are so many homeless. There are so many out at the street corners looking for money, but they're sitting there smoking their cigarettes and living their lifestyle, living in the homeless community in tents around the city, dirtying up the city, having no pride in themselves, and just wanting a handout. It's okay to help these people when they come to a kitchen to be fed. It's okay to help these people have clothes on their back. It's okay to help people to try to find a place to stay, but they have to be willing to work at their life and stop what they're doing. I know a generous man. I don't know him personally, but this generous man purchased had tiny homes built in Fredericton on the north side. And if you go and Google about the tiny homes in Fredericton built by somebody who had money and donated it to be, and had, I don't know whether he had these people, had somebody build these houses for them or donated the money for them. Now this little community has been well built, and this has been done over the last year and a half, and they have resources there for them, and that's what we all need to do for these people. But then have social services there demanding something of them. I don't care if it's standing at Walmart and just saying welcome, as long as they're doing something to help themselves. In the wintertime, shoveling seniors' steps or walkway. If it's within the city, give them opportunities to clean around these homeless places with all the trash and all these carts that you get from stores, taking them back to the stores. And yet they're given an opportunity to give back, and some money for doing that in the city, sweeping and sweeping around the sidewalks, the trash, and in these parks and areas, just making it, that should be something that they should get some pride in doing. So that, and they, because they have a home to live in, a little tiny home. And gosh, we had a little tiny home too when I was growing up. 2 bathroom size bedrooms for 7 of us, and no running water and no inside sewage. So I was fine. I was clean. We carried water, and we had food on our table. My mother was very good at watching every penny. And like I mentioned before, as she got older, I would take her to a grocery store, and if I seen a can of soup a penny less, I would take one from her cart, put the other one in. Because my mom was she didn't put money in a bank, and every penny she looked after. Didn't buy much for herself. I can remember her when she left my dad when I was 8, and the rest of them were in between, older and younger, of 6 kids. She had the same coat for a long coat for many years, until some of us were out on our own, and then she could go, even if it was just Salvation Army, and buy herself something. Anyway, just to say that, like, not having much, but not demanding anything for yourself, and that she never would. She was a hard working mother, and not that our home was easy to live in at all the times, no. And but her home was clean by 8 o'clock in the morning. So all these people can do the same thing. They've chosen a lot to live in this lifestyle, and maybe it's been circumstances that brought them there. And I just think we all need to love ourselves as God loved us, and love others the same way, and then take pride in what you do and how you live, and not always feel like you have to have a handout for everything. If you have to, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go there's different places where there's resource centers, and there's just food and clothing and counseling and churches and people who care, and not just at a church, in any of these places that have these resources. People care, and that's why they're in those fields. But God willing, here today, I can just feel some beautiful, just a little bit of cooler air, not much, because it's like 37 degrees here, but getting a breeze now to blow, and feels good. And I just want to say thank you for joining me, and I would love to take a drive and take you with me. I would love to go to my dad's and my mom's graves and take you with me. Like I've always said, family is the most important thing to me, and my church family means a lot to me. My friends mean a lot to me, and you don't have a lot of friends. You might have some here and some there, and some that will be there for a while, and some that will be there for a lifetime. I always told my children when they were growing up, if you've got a friend that wants you to do something wrong, something that I wouldn't want you to do, they're not a friend, because you're going to end up getting into trouble. And that's what I've always told them. They've probably never listened, but I hope that they still think of those things today. And because it's so true, isn't it? And I probably never learned it either until later in life. And but here I am 70 and I still don't know a lot. My kids are still telling me, Mom, you think, you don't know everything. No, I don't, but I think I knew a little bit more than you did. But yeah, they're pretty smart. They are. I give them that. The children that are coming up, they're only 2 and 3 years old, and they can get onto a tablet and whatever and know how to use it. Me and my husband are, you still learn how to even get out of something or how to get into something. So, but anyway, I'm just going to take a shot of my garden, maybe a quick walk. If you want to come with me, I'll go down the steps here first, so I don't fall down in front of you or something. Yeah, even the grass feels wet. My beans. My beans. My potatoes have been being chewed, and I never see anything on them, but something is chewing them. So I am just taking one day at a time on these guys. And some beans in that far corner. Let me walk around the other side. You've seen it before, but isn't it wonderful to see my onions are growing again. I don't know much about them either. I got to read up on that. See, I got a few more peas there. A couple. Zane just chews on them, so I'm going to let him do that. He can do what he wants there. Let me just see here if I can see my pepper. I got other peppers now starting, but there's the little one right there. It's growing long, but not round. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, my husband put up the stangler today. He cut down a branch and painted it. Now, like I said, maybe tomorrow we'll get our bird feeder up. Oh, he did, but he's got it too low. That's way too low. Yeah, that's way too low. So you'll have to do that somewhere different tomorrow. That's way too low. And this I'm going to move. So I'm going to wait till fall. And I'm going to plant that somewhere else. Because it's in my way. And next year we might pull this garden out more this way. Out this way. And yeah. See, that's my squash. As far as I know, that's a squash. And those bad old tomatoes aren't flowering. And all these, all but one plant, has got one tomato on it. And I've got like 5 in there. But anyway, see, there's my pumpkin. Wish you could, there, you can see it now. Little pumpkin there. So we're going to see what they do. But I don't really think, next year I know what I'm not going to plant. Corn. Absolutely no corn. I am going to grow. I want some turnip if I can get it to grow. I got to learn how to grow it first. Let me see. I would like to have a couple of zucchini because they grow a lot. I'd love to have some real good tomato plants. I think maybe next year just the cherry tomatoes and one good sized tomato plant. And some, squash. I'd like to have a couple of heads of cabbage. I'd like to have a couple of heads of cauliflower. I'd like to have a couple of heads of broccoli, if I can get them. Yeah. My marigold. See, this is the marigold that needs more water today because it's been so hot. There's my thyme, right here. Right there's all my thyme. All in underneath here is the thyme. Oh. I cut down my lavender. Now, don't know if lavender will come again when you take off the flowers. If lavender will come again. But if you know, please let me know. Because like I said, I'm not very smart when it comes to plants. I just plant, and if they grow, they grow, and if they don't, they don't. And, but they are. This one here wants to bud. That one there wants to bud. So yeah, when I get off here, I will water these ones on my deck because they have no chance in doing it on their own. They got a hen here. I've got this out here, the cactus out here, and it's a Thanksgiving one. And anyway, it was in my husband's bedroom. Anyway, well, God bless you all, and thank you for stopping by. And if you stay, please like, share, and subscribe. And enjoy the rest of your day, and tell me what you've done. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.